welcome to Coffee Break with Hayley. I'm a professional contemporary dancer and a rolfer. As a rolfer, I help you with your walking and breathing patterns, how you stand and move more easily, how you could stand and move more easily, how perhaps you could come through pain that's troubling you, and also come through events in your life that have had an impact on your system. By system, I mean your whole being, psychological, and how those psychological things can manifest in the body: grief, anxiety, coping with contemporary living, which is hard, right? Well, it can be. So today we're going to do a tiny thing standing, and we need a chair, so just take a moment to go and get a chair if you need to. Pause me if you need to. I'm not going to give a sitting alternative, but there could be one, so I'm not sure if there are any watching who are happier sitting and have less stable legs, but if you do, then be in touch. If you're watching this on Facebook, you could private message me, or you could leave a comment below and I could be in touch with you if you'd like an alternative. So we're going to stand with our chair. And we're side on. So my chair's here, I'm holding. Don't grip too hard with your hand onto the chair, so just lightly holding, And then the leg that's closest to me, you hang behind you, and you can probably let the top of the toes touch the ground, or maybe try and have it off the ground, but they could be going towards the ground, like hanging that leg behind you, so it's not doing anything, it's empty. Good, and as always when we're on one leg, watch for this collapsing in the hip, so if you can, see if you can have a whole big gecko-y footprint and not go off to one side through the hip, so you're coming through the hip. Cool, and we're going to do this in two parts, we'll learn it. So first the hand, which as you're on top of your hip and your other leg is dangling, the hand goes up, top of the hand first, and I like the image of if there was a sheet, like a sheet hanging, like a cotton sheet, and it was painted with paint. So you really could, it moves, but you could feel the texture and the temperature of the paint as you move your fingertips in the paint. I think it's nice that it's not a wall, so it's something that would move like a sheet hanging. And then palm is down, and the finger pads now are feeling the paint, and it takes your upper body with it, and the knee bends. And we're kind of here and resting. And the knee straightens, and the tops of our fingers are feeling the paint on the sheet. And then the tops of our fingers, the pads of our fingers are feeling the paint. And our upper body follows into a kind of curve, And then we add, if this is too much, you can stay with the hand, but if you'd like to, you can press with the big toe. Really think about the big toe pressing as you go up. And it's a feeling, you're still thinking about the paint. And I feel like, see if you can have a feeling that your big toe is pressing down so that your heart's lifting. So your big toe is lifting the heart. If you were a ballerina, this would be releve, but you don't have to go all the way up to releve, right? You can just press with the big toe and let it lift the heart as the hand floats. And then the big toe receives the heart as the hand caresses the paint. So the big toe presses, it's quite strong, presses down, lifts the heart. Don't go off on the side on your hip. And then it receives the heart into the ground. And then we swap sides. So we'll do 4 on each side. I won't talk too much while we're doing the movement, but if you've got questions after, then feel free to be in touch. Okay. Beautiful. Finishing your last one. Lovely. So maybe you felt this possibility for suspension at the top, which was also helped by the sound. So it's really nice that you can feel that actually the big toe can lift the heart for nothing. Yeah, and then it can receive the heart down into the ground. Yeah, lift the heart and receive the heart. So this is really training lift through each column. And lift has its own emotional qualities to do with joy. So we're training through a more dancing form, how in the walking pattern, every step we could have this possibility for joy, because really we want that lift from the foot up. We also want a descent, right? Up to down so we can land. But we want this capacity, yeah, for lift in both columns. And so you can lift the heart on one side, and when you're on the other side, you could feel that the similar space, the lung and the stuff that's inside here, yeah, could also be lifted. Yeah. So be in touch if you've got any questions. It can be quite strong, pressing with the big toe. Or if you've got any, you could let the wobbles happen as you find your way to joy. Yeah. And this is freedom, really. I mean, I really relate this to freedom despite context, I call it. So you could find joy from your own toe push, despite what is going on around you. The Dalai Lama is very good at this if you watch him. I don't watch him walking so much, but every moment he erupts in laughing, despite all the suffering that he is really touching into. Anyway, I'm not the Dalai Lama, but I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.